Well, there have been lots of questions since CBC News revealed a secret fund in the Prime Minister's office, one that only a handful of people knew about, and whether there's a connection to a $90,000 check Stephen Harper's former chief of staff gave to Senator Mike Duffy. Day after day, the Conservatives have been suggesting Canadians can rely on Elections Canada to scrutinize spending. But in an exclusive interview, the former head of Elections Canada says not so. Our investigative correspondent, Greg Weston, has more on this tonight. Greg.
Peter, the government has been telling Canadians there is no secrecy and there is no fund, that all spending by political parties is subject to the utmost scrutiny of Elections Canada. The former head of the agency tells an entirely different story.
There is nothing that Elections Canada imposes on political parties concerning their expenditures between elections.
Order! For days, Conservative MPs have been contradicting each other about the existence of the secret fund.
There is no such fund.
The fund does exist.
Who's been telling the truth to Canadians?
In fact,
either way, Conservatives say, Elections Canada is overseeing everything they do.
Our finances are submitted to Elections Canada for approval year after year.
All federal parties do submit an audited annual statement of total income and expenses, but Elections Canada cannot check any of it.
I don't have a way of verifying specific expenditures. I don't have access to receipts.
Who has oversight of spending by the political parties?
The political parties.
That's it. There's no other.
In between elections, that's it.
On CBC Radio's The House, Conservative MP Chris Alexander claimed Elections Canada limits how party funds can be spent.
There are absolutely rules. It has to be an event that relates to party activities. Elections Canada has very meticulous, very detailed rules.
Once again, Kingsley says, not true.
There are no rules of any kind. There's nothing in the Canada Elections Act that prevents a party from expending monies as it wishes.
The NDP has asked Elections Canada to investigate the secret fund. Kingsley says the agency can't do that either.
That authority does not exist.
Both the current and previous heads of Elections Canada have asked Parliament for the power to force political parties to open their books. Kingsley is not hopeful.
I suspect that they've made the decision that they would rather face the scandal than face the consequences of openness.
The Conservatives are adamant that no party money was used in the $90,000 deal between Nigel Wright and Mike Duffy. But Jean-Pierre Kingsley is equally clear that party funds could be used for just about anything without Elections Canada ever knowing. Peter?
All right, Greg, thank you. Greg Weston in Ottawa. Well, as you know, the RCMP is investigating part of the Senate expense scandal. An independent audit is also underway. Tonight, we can tell you the Auditor General, Michael Ferguson, has also agreed to oversee an investigation.
Certainly one of the things that we will focus on is individual senators' claims, how they're supported and that type of thing. So it's going to be more detailed and not just look at how...
Ferguson warns his audit will take time, perhaps as long as 18 months. Also today, the committee overseeing Senate expenses in Ottawa underwent a change at the top. Senator David Tkachuk announced today he's resigning as chair of the Senate's Internal Economy Committee as of Thursday. Tkachuk says he's stepping down because he'll be undergoing treatment for bladder cancer.